Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Monday, September 26th, 2022. Should have a very interesting day. There was a lot of movement in the markets overnight. Not sure what's going on with my news over here, but I'll go ahead and pop into our disclaimer slide here. Basically just says, don't be an idiot. And if you do anything idiotic, don't blame me. Pop over to our news here. Yeah, so it's saying pound flash crashes 500 pips to record low amid global FX carnage as things start breaking. Very interesting overnight session. So this is the relative chart here between all the different products that I follow: the 30-year, the Ultra, the 10, and the 5, and the 2. So you can see, look at this. The Ultra is the magenta. Look at the whipsaw nature of this, just up and down and up and down. That's just ruthless. Sorry, ruthless and brutal. um, anyway, really interesting. Definitely indicative of the kind of day where you just want to be very careful. For some reason, my Econoday is not loading right now, but there's a lot of Fed speakers this week, so you're just going to want to keep an eye out for when those are taking place, and be careful not to have an open position when they're speaking. I'm quickly going to review the 5-minute chart here from Friday's session. The opening range of 5 minutes is marked out in these bands. You can see the Ultra bond down here, up here in magenta. We started out here in the opening range. We broke out of the opening range, shot well above it. We did revisit the C up, popped down, went back into the opening range, but only about 70% of the way through, where we rallied, consolidated for a bit at the top of the opening range before shooting higher once again around 11 a.m., which peaked around 11:45 a.m., and sort of did a slow fall throughout the afternoon. Still closing well outside the opening range. In the ZB, we did consolidated here in the opening range. We busted out of it, dropped back down, tested almost towards the opening range. That was a very narrow spike, so they certainly probably shook out some stop losses in this area here, and then just continued. Man, they just did a big shake right there. Okay, then it continued up, dropped back down to the opening range high at 1025, where it continued its upward trajectory around 11, peaking at the same time around 1150 or so, then just slowly tapering off throughout the rest of the afternoon. In the 10-year, we broke out of the opening range to the upside, dropped back down. We dipped into the opening range, had a similar wick there, uh, eventually coming back much further into the opening range. We did break out above high. 11:50 p.m. we finished and had a much steeper descent than its neighbors did the long tenor. And the 5-year, we broke out of the opening range, shot up, came back down, spent a lot more time inside the opening range, much more than any of the other products. We did break back outside the opening range high, broke back above the A up, did a little bit of business up there before returning back into the opening range where we closed the session. Okay, let's take a look at our higher time frame context. This is the volumetric full Globex session. This is the Ultra Bond. On the right is a composite chart going back 12 months. And we've got the value area shaded in the lighter magenta with the POC as the dark pink. As you can see, we're putting in, this is us right now. Actually, the white line is where the price currently is trading. We're in the bottom half of this area here. The point of control was a little bit lower than where we are presently. Let's go ahead and tab here. This is the full session profile. However, the full session time period. However, it's split into two profiles. The teal is the regular trading hour session. So this is Friday, and this is the overnight session. I do that just to sort of gauge, to split them up into different pieces so I can analyze them a little bit differently. So yeah, you can see the overnight session was descending. It shot down, wobbled around, sort of consolidating here. And looking over at the composite chart, there's this little sort of node area here. Should we go up? We've got only a little bit to go before there's some heavier volumes that took place right here, just around yesterday's value area and POC, which is also the POC and near to the POC and value area from Thursday. Of course, we also have lots of room to go to the downside. There's nothing down there as support and resistance, but it seems like you just never know what's going to happen. Here are the TPOs from the Ultra Bond. This is 7:20 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is not including any of the activity that was taking place right now. All you see that is of right now is this price line. This TBO is from Friday's session. So Thursday, we shot way down here, consolidated in this area. Friday was sort of like spanned the value area. It added a little bit on top and a little bit on the bottom. Finished up in the higher end of things. And let me just get back in here, and as you can see, that faltered overnight once the markets opened on Sunday evening and into this morn. Okay, looking at the 30-year, similar situation. This is the full Globex session. We're sitting right atop this ledge here at 127.28, and that's where we sit inside of this little valley right here. This is the overnight activity. Here's the TPO from the 30-year. We are sort of outside of the range, but not by much. Take a look at the 10-year here. 10-year put in its consolidating POC down here in the lower end. Actually, that's that's the overnight session. That's the present session right here. So yeah, here's where we were on Friday, and now we're dropping down to this lower area here. Overnight session. Again, pretty volatile. Right here are our TPOs, and we are opening well below range, well below value. So it's a gap day in the ZN. I did not review that for the Ultra or the 30-year, so let's pop over there. The Ultra we'll be opening in range, and just below value. The 30-year will be opening just below, in range and just below value. 5-year here. Here's the full session. Yep, again, just look at this. Look at all these days. This is a 24-hour session, just dropping and dropping and dropping. There's this huge peak up here at 107.2, 112 to look into. Should we start to go higher? Here's the overnight activity. So TPO, and for the 5-year, we'll be opening well below range and well below value. Here's the 2-year. Had a steep drop right here around 2 a.m. and then it shot right back up, and now it's just doing this wiggle around thing. And we are opening well below range and well below value in the 2-year. I think that'll do it for that. Just a quick peek at these are four range charts, order flow charts. Got them set for so that it will not form a new candle until it goes, into the next 4 levels of price. In the bonds, which can trade slow for some time, this 4 range chart can be very helpful. And then these areas right here that are highlighted are exhaustion prints. So only a couple contracts that traded at this price here. See the 0.2 before price shot down. I marked those, and I will use those, update those in the DOM. For instance, I'll mark this point. Those tend to work for me great as targets or just general areas of interest. It's the 5-year and the 2-year. All right, let us take a look at our 30-minute charts. I'm just going to give this Econo Day one more chance to get its shit together, but for some reason it's not wanting to play nice. I don't know what's up with Econo Day. Maybe the news was so intense they just crashed. Take a look at our 30-minute here. 7:09 now. We are 11 minutes from the U.S. cash market open at 7:20 a.m. All right, looking at our Ultra Bond. What I do is I've got this green button that's going to tell me if we are above or below the Hall moving average. It's a 20-period Hall moving average, 30-minute chart. And as you can see, we're sort of splayed downward here. These moving averages I use to keep track of the general trend. We're on a bit of an upturn here in the Ultra. Let's see. Yep, here we are in the 30-year, just sort of consolidating right here. Imagine we're consolidating before the open. It'll be very interesting to see which way the markets head this morning once we open in 10 minutes. All right. And the ZF is actually just turned now below the 30-minute Hall moving average. Take a quick peek at the same time period. So these are 30-minute charts, but this is on MT5, where I've got support and supply and demand zones drawn out sort of automatically. This is the 30-year. You can see there's a consolidation zone down here. 10-year, 5-year, and the 2-year. Let's take a look at our overnight VWAP. And what I've done yesterday, I woke up at 2 in the morning to use the bathroom and did some updating that I meant to do. I put in a volume weighted average price line from the date, actually from the moment when just before FOMC came out. That's this white line here. I also did one for the following day because there was at 8 a.m. there was a huge change in price. So I did that. I marked that area as gray VWAP, and I'm certain that price will certainly interact with those at some point in the future. I did do a post on that on Twitter, and I will revisit that post once I see some interaction with these areas. It's going to happen. Just my prognostication as a total noob. But anyway, let's see the 30-year. Yeah, so we can see the VWAP is slanted down, so it turns red when we are below the VWAP. You can see on the Ultra we are slightly above the VWAP, but the slope is slanting down. So that's what's going on there. 10-year, we are also under the VWAP. We're in between the VWAP and the first deviation range. And in the 5-year, we are also beneath the VWAP and between the VWAP and the first dev. I will reset these to the regular trading hours once we get into the session, just so that I can have the VWAP, my intraday VWAP is starting from the moment of the open. That'll tell me where the fair price is. It takes up all the prices, all the volume, divides it all, just gives you the average price. And that's a great tool to have on your chart for me. All right, let me take a look at our tick charts here. This is a 124 tick chart. Just helps me gauge momentum and gives me some context on where we are. Let's see, starting with the Ultra over here. Yep, just choppy. Chop, chop, chop. Crazy shit, man. Super chop. Although we are chopping, and we are just right now presently retesting the 100 moving average. So it could be that we're about to bounce up from there. We'll just have to see. ZB, we are testing on the 100 as well. You'll notice the 100 moving average I have colored the same color as I use for these products across the board. So you've got the magenta for the Ultra, yellow for the 30, the 10 is blue, and the 5 is green. The 10-year went down below, shot up above, and this actually had consolidated at above the 100 moving average. It's sort of on a downturn at the moment, but it could be ready to shoot up. ZF, which in the last week was sort of acting as the leader of the pack. The ZF is also still consolidating around that 100 moving average. Okay. Now let's get to our depth of market charts here. Let me just put these on. DOMs. Okay, here we go. Let's take a look. Now underneath each of these charts, I've got the 30-second order flow stats. We've got the number of market orders that lifted the offer, 130. This is just, for example, in the 2-year. See, it just changed because that's for the 30-second period. So 40, well, the previous one we did 130 people market orders that were buying, 126 market orders sold. The delta, the difference between those was 4. So there were only 4 more buyers and sellers in the last 30-second period. Total volume of 257. All right. Let's just scroll up and down here and see if we see any liquidity pools. Yep, there we go. It's pretty slight, but I'm going to mark that in there. 138.24 down in the Ultra. Let's take a look at the, okay, up in the ZB, we've got an area of 361 contracts on offer at 128.15. We've got, let's see what's going on there. Okay, there we go. In the ZN, down at 111.160. We've got 2,200 on the bid. There's also a glorious shitload of contracts here. 2,000 at 111.270. Looking up above. Oh, interesting. We've got 2371 up here, which is also the other day's value area low. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transpose the value area low so that I can make room for this liquidity pool. Mark that in there. And also, very interesting. I'm going to do the same thing with the settlement. The settlement price of 112.200. There's also a huge liquidity pool up there, which indicates to me that we could have, those could be capstones to prevent this market from going up further. We'll just have to wait and find out. 4 minutes from the open now. We go ahead and check out the 5-year. Okay, 5-year, we've got one right here. I'm not going to say the numbers because I don't have time. ZT, because I'm flapping my lips. We've got the 102, 180 as an interesting liquidity pool. Also 102, 194, 102, 204, and nothing down below. Quickly going to mark out my overnight low in these products, my overnight high, overnight point of control in the 5-year. Overnight high. Yeah, this marking out these levels really helps me in terms of finding targets and whatnot. Okay, I'm just going to put the overnight low right there. Overnight low. Overnight point of control. Overnight high. And here comes the 30-year. Overnight low. You can always, I suppose, pause this video and check back if you want to. You should probably, I mean, you actually have your own process, but just doing this podcast has been really helpful for me just to make sure that I do my own homework. All right. Overnight point of control. Okay, and then those DOMs will all reset at 7:30. Pop you over quickly to my range chart. This is another chart that I've been using. This is just a one range chart, so I can see exactly where things are. It moves up only when there's a price change, so time doesn't really factor in here. As you can see, we are underneath. In the ultra, it looks like we're in a downward trajectory. These zero lag indicators starting to splay to a downward side. We'll just have to wait and see how all that goes. Okay. Sorry that I'm not able to take you to the news. Pop over to Econo Day as soon as it's working, or wherever you use for your news to stay on top of what's going on. Again, there are a lot of Fed speakers this week. Please be careful. I would suggest liquidating all positions before they speak. Yep. So aside from that, I hope you have a fantastic day. You can certainly join us over on Twitter at EquanimousTrade, where I'll be shit posting throughout the day. If you're watching this episode in the future, you should be able to go to equanimoustrading.com. At the moment, that is not active. I'm still developing it behind the scenes. And that will do it for today. Hope you guys have a fantastic trading day, and we'll see you soon. Later.